Check it out, everybody. We're widescreen.
I don't think people are going to be as excited as you think they are.
I'm so excited about it. Hey, everyone, chime in if you love this new widescreen landscape situation that I've got.
No one even notices that it's different.
No, give them a minute. They're going to chime in.
Although, when it was focused, when it was just a little, but on the phone, oh, look, they hop.
Yeah.
But you couldn't see how messy the rest of the backyard is.
It's not messy. It's lived in.
Well, I'll give you a short tour. We have this lovely garden area right here, which is lovely. But I don't know if you can see the Home Depot buckets behind us. That's my dad's vegetable garden. Yeah. And they started out in little Dixie cups, and he graduated.
They love it.
Okay,
Everyone
good.
loves it.
They graduated to the Home Depot buckets, and I asked him last night. I said, "Dad, why don't you put a garden in the ground?" And he said that was a little more work than he wanted to do. He just wanted to grow tomatoes and bell peppers in Home Depot buckets.
Yep, that's how you do it.
And then there's a shed. I wish the shed was not in the picture.
Everyone's loving it.
Okay, good. Well, here we are. It's widescreen.
It's cinematic. You're a film center. It should be cinematic.
I would like to talk about my shirt. Can I? May I?
You may. Proceed.
My birthday was this week.
Happy birthday, Megan. Oh, my God. That was this week?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in so much trouble.
You remembered.
Oh, my God.
You sent me flowers.
This is
remember?
terrible way to find that out.
Anyhow, my mom got me this shirt that I'm wearing right now, which I do like because I wouldn't be wearing it if I didn't like it. So she's going to comment later that I shouldn't have been talking about it, but I'm going to. But here's what I've been feeling like all day.
To your birthday.
Thanks.
Cheers.
You want to use your mug?
Sure.
I feel like I look like my grandmother circa 1986. She would have worn this to her legal secretary job, tucked into some nice pleated khaki pants.
You're rocking it, whatever it is.
Thanks. And she would have, with some sensible pumps and a handbag that clasps, that closes and clasps on the outside. My Mildred, she would have been wearing that.
What's
also,
not to like?
Now that I have the hat on, I also feel like someone's Aunt Sue that lives in South Beach, Florida, and hosts an annual get-together with all her nieces and nephews, and she doesn't ever go swimming, but she sits on the porch and smokes menthols.
Or canasta, like you're going to be playing cards with the girls, the ladies.
She says it's very Golden Girls. Yeah.
Oh.
Mimi circa 1986 is what I feel like. Anyway, I'm bringing the look back. I told my mom I was wearing it today. She goes, "You're going to get so many compliments on that shirt." And I have from Anna, because I consider that you saying it looks like the Golden Girls is a compliment. Okay. I'm making sure that we can see all that. Okay. Because sometimes it doesn't.
I know, but I think that it's doing a great job.
Thanks.
We're doing so well.
We're wearing our Cubs hats because of our Chicago film, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when they go to Wrigley Field and go to a Cubs game. Me and my family, the Hostellers, love the Cubs. Thomas is adopted into this family, and so now he owns a Cubs hat.
I enjoy
That's it, right?
I like the color scheme. Yeah. I'm a fan of the idea of the Cubs.
Yeah. I also have a mug. I know it's going to be backwards, but I made this mug. It says "Go Cubs Go." So I'm drinking out of my Cubs mug.
It's drippy. It's a drippy mug.
I'm not a hat person, and I feel very uncomfortable in this hat.
Terrific.
I don't like
you should feel good about it.
I've never liked a hat. I do not like a hat. We can go ahead and get started and talk about the movie if you want.
Yeah.
We have, guys, a new format for the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know about it.
I know. Sorry. You might not even notice that it's different. So if so, carry on. But we have some new segments to introduce, and I don't know where to look on this new video.
You're always supposed to look
at the camera. But I can't. Now, that's weird because I can't see the comments if I'm looking up there.
You're doing fine.
Thanks. Okay. So our first segment is called TMI. Do you know what that stands for?
Oh, too much information.
No, do you know what our segment stands for?
No.
Yes, you do. I told you.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
What is it?
Thomas and Meghan's information.
Insight. Yeah, so our first segment is called TMI, Thomas and Meghan's Insight into the Film of the Week. So, the Film of the Week is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So I want to start with, do you remember, and y'all can chime in too with your answers, please. Do you remember the first time you saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
I believe I came late to this film, to this party, to the Ferris Bueller party. I always was aware of it. I knew the poster from my good friend Lang's older brother's bedroom.
There you go.
So I knew it was a thing that older people watched, but I did not watch it.
Well, when it came out, we were probably just a little too young.
Yeah, it was 1986. So I think I remember watching it as a rental in the 90s.
Brian saw it for the first time on Monday. Camera zooms in. Nice. Ken's giving us pointers. Speaking of Ken, I think the first time I saw this movie was with Ken. I didn't see it when it came out in theaters because I think we were a little too young for that.
Sure.
But I remember watching it many, many times on church bus trips, which...
Ooh,
I know.
it's like, not family friendly.
Parts of it are not. But I mean, anyway.
It's pretty tame.
It was the 90s. So, I mean, I guess.
Standards.
Rich saw it in the theater.
What?
Awesome. But yeah, we watched it on repeat on church bus trips for sure. And I remember quoting it with all of my friends. Things like, what are some quotes you remember? I remember the most quoted ones were like, Bueller.
Sure.
Bueller. Michael says the Grace Youth Director made us turn it off when we went with a different church. Their standards were a little higher than ours were for what was allowed to be watched on the bus. And so, yeah, we did have to turn it off once. We were like, oh, we watch it all the time. What other things did you remember quoting? Oh, you're not dying. You just have nothing better to do.
Right.
And then, 9 times.
I like the part about the isms.
I don't believe in isms.
People should not believe in isms.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Beatles. I just believe in me.
Eastgate Theater. Oh, I loved Eastgate Theater. Tiana watched it on TV a lot. Yep. Yeah. So a few of you watched it in the theaters when it opened, and I'm going. It's so choice.
Oh yeah, if you have the means. So choice.
Yeah. There's lots of good ones. What do you remember most? Like we rewatched it last night, but before we rewatched it, what was your memory of the movie? What stood out to you most?
I'll
go first since you're thinking.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking it looked like the most fun. And I wanted a day off. I wanted to just hang out with them. Actually, I took some days off and got in big trouble for it. But mine were not anywhere near as fun as Ferris's. But I just remember thinking, like, that's fun. I want to be their friends. I want to go do what they're doing.
Right.
And I remember the Oh Yeah song. Can you give us? Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that song.
Oh.
And
Came to see me.
And Chicago. I love Chicago so much, and Chicago is like a character in the movie. The school secretary was a scene stealer. Oh my gosh, it's going so fast. The dog attacking the principal, rolling the miles back. The first after credit sequence I ever saw. Yeah, it's a fun one.
You're still here? Go home. He doesn't say the movie's over. I always thought he said it. He said it's over. Go home.
It's over.
And it was also at the end of Deadpool. You know, he comes
right.
He's wearing the Ferris robe, but in the Deadpool attire.
Okay, so did you have anything to add to that?
I think I think about the parade. I think about Dakashe. Is that how you say it?
I don't think so, but fine.
I think it's pretty close.
Yeah.
I think about the parade. I think about the Ferrari going off the cliff. I often think about that. When I first saw the movie, I was always very confused about their attempt to take the mileage off the odometer by running
is it possible? Right.
Because I thought, well, these are older people than me. This must be something they know
because people
works.
older than me know things.
Right.
Yeah.
But I asked a friend last night, I was like, well, I was texting while we were watching the film. I said, why would they even attempt this? And they said, because they're teenagers. And I guess I never really thought about
Right,
it that
'cause
way.
they're dumb.
They were dumb. They
Yeah,
were
but we
desperate
thought they
for
were
a
smart.
solution. But I Googled it, and did you know that some automobiles do work
Older
older cars worked in that fashion, where if
I
you,
didn't know.
if you
I know
drove
nothing
backwards,
about cars.
it took miles off the odometer. Because I don't know that the odometer was there necessarily to document mileage or wear and tear on the engine.
It was just moving forward and moving backwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that
well, Tiana
strange.
pointed out that there were a couple of shots of a real Ferrari, but the others were all, what's the word? Replicas? Not replicas. Models. They were built just for the film. Rich is going to chime in and tell me what I'm trying to say. Because it was too expensive to wreck a real Ferrari.
Right.
And Sandy, I like that Sandy says that she watched lots of, she's a teacher, or was a teacher, and watched lots of in-services featuring the clip of Ben Stein, as in like how not to teach a class. Yeah. Something DOO economics. Anyone? Voodoo economics. I don't know why that sticks out. Replica cars. Thanks, Rich. I got it right. So how was your viewing experience different this time?
Well, you were there.
So it made it so much better?
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely. It was the first time we'd watched it together. I don't know that it was terribly different. I think that it is. I was thinking about that when you asked earlier. During show prep.
When I sent you the list of questions
I said I think that this is a movie that depicts teenagers in the 80s. I don't know if the word is
like
hyper real, but
I thought that being a teenager would be like that.
Right. And so where I'm going with this is that I was not personally a teenager in the 80s,
right,
but my older brother and his friends were. So Ferris Bueller was a movie that people his age watched, him and his friends. Mm-hmm. So it was one of these things where you would see a poster, or you would see, the soundtrack, and you'd be like, well, this is something that people older than me are watching. And watching it now, I kind of see a lot about, I see a little bit of 80s teenage culture.
Yeah. Some nostalgia. Too.
Right.
Yeah.
That I experienced
some other people
vicariously through my older brother, who's a bit older.
Gianna says it's more relatable now because she's grown up and has experienced skipping school.
Right.
Like I shared that I also experienced that.
Like his room.
To my detriment.
Like
his room was amazing.
Right.
Yes, all of the posters, the stereo, the computer, the mannequins. Why did he have a mannequin in his room? Right. I don't know. And
stereo equipment was very important in the 80s. Yeah. It may continue to have been important moving forward. It was just never something I was super into. Stereo equipment, posters on the wall.
My dad says, "Are parents really that dumb?"
No, those parents were.
Mine weren't.
Yeah. Those parents were. I feel like the mom, at least initially, seemed to have a genuine distaste for her own daughter. Like when he was sick in bed and she came in, it's like, what are you even doing?
Well, moms and teenage daughters, you wouldn't know because you don't have any sisters, but moms and teenage daughters have a tenuous dynamic. Relationship.
Right.
Often. Ken, I like this. He went into audio engineering because he was inspired by Ferris Bueller's pranks. Yeah, Tiana, it was a brown mannequin. And the mom walks in and sees his arm laying out of the sheets and is like, sweet Ferris. And I agreed. They're not the same color. Elizabeth says, is anyone here a goody two-shoes that did not skip school? I hope that there are many.
I didn't go to a school large enough where you could skip and get away with it.
Anyone can skip. You just don't go.
You just don't go?
Right.
But do you give a reason?
Yeah. If the more successful skippers have a better plan. Yeah.
There's often forgery involved.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Things that might be considered crimes if you were over 17.
Not a crime. Ashley and Angie did not skip school. It doesn't surprise me on either of them.
I may be feigned illness. Everyone's.
That's what he did.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So then, you did. You're guilty.
But I don't know that I feigned illness and then proceeded to go and have a terrific fun.
I know that's what I was thinking. That too. I was thinking kids today that skip school. Movies. Would like spend their day on the phone or playing video games or watching movies. Tiana was a Cameron. Ooh, interesting.
And usually when my mom became aware of that perhaps I wasn't as ill as I had purported to be earlier in the day, I was made to go to school.
Oh no, that's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, my senior year, I had to forge 17 doctor's notes to graduate. Lee, we have something in common.
Wow.
My story is very close to that. Wow. But I turned out okay, guys. I did.
So many forgeries.
My parents are probably ashamed that I'm talking about this right now.
They're so proud of you.
How
you've turned out.
Okay, so I had lots of questions watching it this time. Like, for instance, how does he know how to hack into the school's computer?
Well, yeah, that's a bit fictional, I think, for the time. I mean, it's highly unlikely that school's computer system would have been online.
Sure.
But you watch that and I know that you aspire to be able to do that
if
one
you
day.
Own a computer, you're able to hack into someone else's, some companies.
Right.
Ken played sick a lot and ended up in the doctor a lot. Ferris warns against that, Ken. He says, don't pretend to have fever because then you'll end up in a doctor's office.
Right.
All right. My other question, another question. Why does he call the payphone at school? Like, that seemed really dumb to me. You should just put someone else on the phone.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess he was just trying to get some intel as to what was going on.
Well, I think he was starting
misinformation.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Fake news.
That's how everyone knew that he had passed out at 31 Flavors last night.
Imagine what Ferris could do with the technology now. That's a very good point.
That's true. I was saying that also. It would be interesting to revisit this character and to see where Ferris is now.
War Games was actually before Ferris Bueller, so that's where he got all his hacking skills, was because he was in War Games.
Right.
He was bored and he wanted to drive home, that he was sick. Let's see. He does so much on his day off. It's a adventure-filled day. I really hate myself in a hat. Also, I loved Sloane's look. Very 80s. Very much like this Golden Girls shirt, but in a different direction. She had on some really long, baggy Bermuda shorts with some calf-length boots and a nice white pleather fringed jacket. Just very 80s. Very 80s. Who said that? Was it Rich, because that's one of my questions later on is what is Ferris doing today? And Rich says that Ferris is a stock trader. Did a little time for insider trading. Love it. Those boots. Yeah, the boots, the earrings. Oh, she had those very, like the one little, what do you call them? One little dangle. Yeah, she had a look. She had a really good look. Let's see. What are my other questions? Oh, I didn't realize the stock exchange in Chicago was a big deal or was a tourist attraction. Yeah.
Right. It is.
I mean, I've been to Chicago many, many times, and never once have I even read about going there. Has anyone suggested going there? I don't even know where it is. Teardrop earrings. Thanks, Tiana. Never been. Maybe I should add it to my list of things to do. Also, I posted a link in the event about all of the filming sites, or all the sites in Chicago where they visit. So next time you're in Chicago, after we're allowed to travel and go do fun things again, you can go see all these spots from Ferris Bueller. Let's see. Another question I had, when he pretends to be Abe Froman, which this is the second movie in a row we've watched where someone takes someone else's reservation at a restaurant. It's a plot point. But anyway, when they take Abe Froman, the sausage king of Chicago's reservation, what happened when the real Abe Froman shows up?
But he didn't show up.
But why? And how did they know?
He didn't know.
Or maybe he showed up and they turned him away. They're like, you're an imposter.
Right, maybe they told Abe Froman that he was the
He was probably like a 60-year-old man.
Right.
Anyway, that concerned me that he took the Abe Froman's reservation, and they were going to get caught when Abe shows up. Speaking of getting caught, when they run into his dad, like they come out and they're standing on the little porch area, and the dad's standing waiting to get in a cab, and they're freaking out. Like they should have just gone back inside.
Right, but
for
it was
a couple
there,
minutes.
That was there for for effect.
I understand,
it kind of reminded me.
I just wanted to say, like, go back inside. He's not even paying attention. He's not looking at you.
Right.
Why are you going to try to get in the same cab as your dad?
But things like that work because it's a movie where the main character speaks to the camera.
What is happening to your drink? Did you spill it?
It's just very humid out here.
No, I think
sweating.
You spilled it.
I did spill a little also, but
Sandy, thank you. The Chicago Stock Exchange closed in 2014, so we cannot go visit it.
It's exist anymore.
We missed our chance for that, guys. All right. Why is Rooney so obsessed with Ferris? Like, he really has it out for this kid. He wants to take him down. He wants to ruin his life. I just did. Thanks.
It's a producer note.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's close. 2014. Yeah. Bye. See you later. He died of a heart attack from all the sausage. That's what happened to Abe Froman. How many pencils are in Grace's hair? She kept pulling them out of her hair. Anyway, Rooney, obsessed with Ferris. He really wants to take that kid down.
Well, it's because he makes him look like an ass is what he does.
I don't trust him as far as I can throw him.
Oh, Ed, with your back, you shouldn't be throwing anyone.
He says he wanted to be that kid when he was young.
No,
he was
Ken.
a Cameron. Yeah, I know, Ken. We're not.
Ken, don't go there. Come on.
Rooney's Breaking Bad. He cares so much about law and order that he starts breaking the rules to enforce them. Rich coming in with super analysis. Thank you, Rich. I thought of, I went a much more lowbrow than Rich's analysis. I thought of Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Yeah, he's his nemesis.
Yeah.
He's kind of the Harry and Marv to Kevin.
Exactly. In fact, that whole scene when he's at home, when he's trying to break into his home and the dog attacks him.
Very Home Alone.
Yes, very Home Alone. I love when Rooney goes, he just picks a random pizza arcade parlor.
Right.
And he's like, this looks like kids hang out here.
Right.
I'm going to find Ferris in here. And my follow-up question is, why are there so many kids in this arcade in the middle of a school day?
Were they kids?
I think
They
some of them
seemed to
were.
be young adults.
Okay,
I mean, was that a teenager that
No, but I mean, I saw kids playing the video games and eating the pizza and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they've got their
He didn't
own,
care about busting any of them.
They've got their own Ed Rooney's
I guess.
to worry about.
I loved, many of you have mentioned Cameron. I loved Cameron's angst. In fact, I told you this, that you kind of remind me a little bit of Cameron.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's not complimentary.
No, Cameron's very lovable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he definitely has some angst, and he
I'm not angsty.
You're not?
I'm an angsty person.
Not at all. Okay.
No.
He talks about going to college. He's like, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm going to go to college now. And Sloane asks him, he goes, but I don't know what I'm going to do there. And Sloane says, well, what are you interested in? And he says, nothing. And then she says, yeah, me neither. And I was like, oh, we're getting deep. That's something I didn't notice before, but they're not interested in anything. They don't want to go to school. They're not interested in pursuing anything. They just want to hang out.
I think it just I think all it meant was that it's
an angsty
They
thing.
didn't know what it was that they wanted to do with their lives, and perhaps needed to give that a little bit of attention. See, what you call angst, I call being introspective and in touch with one's feelings.
I think that's what angst is.
And if that's what you're saying,
I think that's what angst is. Yeah, Cameron was wearing a Detroit Red Wings jersey, as Tiana pointed out, which is interesting because it's a very Chicago-y film. Here's another thing that stood out to me on this rewatch. Ferris Bueller is so much cooler than Matthew Broderick.
Yeah. So
it begs the question, if you're able to act that cool, why wouldn't you just act that cool every day?
Acting.
But he's just kind of dweeby. I mean, a really, really lovable kind of dweeby, but Matthew Broderick is super dweeby. And like, if y'all watch the commercial from 2012, I posted it in the event today as well, the CRV commercial that kind of recreates Ferris Bueller. He's even dweeby in that. Like, he was cool and he turned into kind of a dweeby guy.
Right.
But I still love him very much. Let's see, whose pool were they in? When they have the whole pool episode, all of a sudden they're just like,
I mean, just the neighbor's pool that was.
Just went to someone's pool.
Home. Yeah.
I have a story about that where I went to someone's pool that wasn't home, and then they came home, and it was.
And those watching might think, "Oh, well, that's just some hijinks she got up to in high school as a young whippersnapper." No, within the last year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault though.
Right.
I was the Cameron in that scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Rich has an article on why the Wings jersey instead of the Blackhawks jersey. Christina's Lang is laughing because she was involved in that as well. Sandy thinks it's Cameron's pool. I think that's I thought that as well. So click on the link, not now, but later, that Rich posted, and it'll say why Cameron wore the Red Wings jersey. And then I noticed Ferris's rabbit foot, and it just kind of was a sign of how he led such a charmed life. He was very lucky. Everything worked out for him. We all know people like that just coast through life with, one thing after another working out well for them. And Cameron's the opposite, where he's just, nothing works out for him, and he's just kind of following along with Ferris.
Right.
I'm going to be put in retroactive detention. I know, Joe, but I've cleaned up my act now. I promise. Let's see. Okay. Favorite scenes. I'm trying to keep up with all of the comments, and there's so many. Yes. So Susan's talked about a theory where, the whole thing is a dream that Cameron's having, and Ferris is just like the version of Cameron that he wants to be. And Tiana's comparing that to Fight Club. So yeah, all of those theories are out there. People have spent a lot of time thinking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Okay. What was your favorite scene?
I think I like the opening monologue best, about the isms and the walrus and the Beatles. But I also like the scene where the Ferrari takes flight and they play the Star Wars main theme very much.
Yeah, he perked up when that came on.
I was like, oh, well, I forgot about that. Speaking of Star Wars, today is the 40th anniversary of a little film called The Empire Strikes Back.
That's exciting. But today we're talking about Ferris Bueller.
Just wanted
throwing
to put
some
that
Star Wars
there.
stuff in there. Here's some of your favorite scenes when the parking guys go joyriding in the Ferrari. You said that. The garage guy, and he says, "What country do you think this is?" When Ferris asks if he speaks any English. I love the parade. Do you love the parade?
I do. I
loved the parade.
The Doca show.
The twist and shout.
Yeah.
I was dancing to that when we were watching it, and Thomas told me to calm down, which he often does. I love the phone call scene with Rooney and Cameron and Ferris and Grace, the secretary, when they're scrambling all around, and he's on the phone. Rooney, this is what was his name? The dad he's pretending to be. And then Ferris calls, "Hi, this is Ferris Bueller. I'm homesick today, and could you send my assignments?"
Girlfriend's name again?
Sloan Peterson.
Peterson.
Yeah. Yes, the parade scene gives us a preview of Matthew Broderick's Broadway career. Let's see. Ken liked the epic backyard run, where he's he's trying to get home before the rest of his family does. I love that too, especially the slow motion trampoline jump. Love it. Iconic. The group on the stage was doing the Thriller choreography. Yeah, I knew it looked familiar. What else did it? Those are the three I wrote down. Yeah, good scenes, good movie. All right, I mentioned this to you, but when you watch this, what character do you think is most you?
Oh, Ferris, 100%.
What?
Gosh, just so suave and carefree and fun-loving.
You don't see any of yourself in Cameron?
I think we all have a little Cameron in us. If we think about it, it's a little uncertain. No, I don't know that. I don't know that.
You're not a Cameron.
I don't watch that movie and feel like I don't know that I really relate to any of them on a personal level. Cameron, Ferris.
I felt most connected to Ferris only because it's the type of thing that I would do to my friends. I would make them go on adventures with me, right, whether they wanted to or not. Also my brother.
Right.
I'm not near as cool as Ferris. We wouldn't have done as much fun things. I wouldn't have gotten away with as much, but I'm definitely, a word that has been used is bossy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would have forced my friends to come do fun things with me, whether they wanted to or not.
Who says that about you? You tell me you give me names, and I will talk to them.
You do.
Yeah.
Lots of people relate to Cameron. Tiana already said she did. Elizabeth and Robert relate to Cameron. You got to get talked into things sometimes, and then you end up having fun.
Oh, well, sure.
And then you crash your dad's Ferrari.
Right.
Yeah. All right. What else do you have to say about the movie? I have more.
Nothing unbidden. If you want to bid me,
I don't
have more to say.
I don't. I talked about Chicago. I love Chicago. So here are all the places that they went, so you can go visit them. But now we know we cannot go to the stock exchange. Sears Tower, which is now Willis Tower. However, I prefer drinks on the 96th floor of the Hancock Building. I think that has better views of the lake and of downtown. Let's see. The restaurant they go to is not really a restaurant. It's actually somebody's house. What's happening?
I was just checking on our food order.
Oh, good. Dinner. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you.
I'm quite finished.
Wrigley Field. Love it. The Art Institute of Chicago. Let's see. Vicky already mentioned that. That is a must-see if you go to Chicago. There's all kinds of famous, wonderful paintings there. Oh, I love it so much. I want to go. Can we go to Chicago soon? I mean, after all this crazy stuff is done. I love Ferris's fourth wall breaking, the direct camera address. In fact, Sarah Jessica Parker, who Matthew Broderick is married to, she was asked to do the direct camera address on the first season of Sex and the City, and she was very against it. She said the only person who can successfully talk straight into the camera is Ferris Bueller.
Also Zach Morris.
She said successfully.
Oh, snap.
Ooh.
That's hard. It's cold.
I like this quote, licking your palms can be pretty childish, but then again, so is high school. That was in the opening scene that you liked a lot. Loved Ben Stein. All of that was improvised. I learned that. Tiana might have learned that in her pop-up video watching. He was just kind of doing it off camera to entertain people while they're waiting to roll. And John Hughes was like, "That's great. You should do that." So he thought that people loved it because it was so informative and they were learning. And he didn't realize till later that people just thought it was incredibly boring and funny because of that.
Right.
My mom wants to make sure I mentioned that the Ferris Bueller's parents were actually a real life married couple.
Oh.
I called Cameron an Eeyore.
Yeah.
Cameron is a little bit of an Eeyore, but we love Eeyore. Taking the car was a terrible idea. Like, it makes me mad and upset in my soul that they did it. I just want to say, like, you should not be taking that car.
Put Cameron in such a bad position. I mean, initially it's a
it
bad position.
was a selfish move.
But in the end, it was liberating.
Yeah, although we don't get to see what happens when his dad comes home. I was like Ferris. I was like, you don't want this kind of heat. You don't want it.
But he did want that kind of heat.
I would have maybe run away from home at that point.
It was going to force a long overdue conversation.
So bad.
It's like, Dad, because we've never talked, I had to wreck your Ferrari. So now let's chat.
Sandy's giving me more information as well. They met on the set and later got married. Brian Smith says Deadpool can pull off.
Of course, Deadpool.
But he's referencing Ferris a lot when he does that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Deadpool breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, but I
in
think
the comics also. He knows he's in a comic book. He knows he's in a movie. That's kind of Deadpool's thing. Maybe it was inspired by Ferris.
I feel like it is.
Bueller.
Yeah.
Who's to know? It's too.
I guess the creator of Deadpool would know.
We could ask the creator of
Deadpool. His bedroom set up to fool his parents is a work of genius. I loved that. The mechanical engineering involved. And we can't not mention Charlie Sheen.
Of course.
Yeah.
He was really good in that role. It was a little foreshadowing also, perhaps.
That car's worth $2.5 million.
Holy.
You buy me one?
He kicked it. It went right off the...
It's terrible. Yeah, but it wasn't real. Don't forget.
Right.
Are you a Matthew Broderick fan?
I think I'm a Ferris Bueller fan.
Are you a Matthew Broderick fan? If so, what movies do you like?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking everybody.
I am a big fan of the film The Freshman. I don't think it gets a lot.
That's what I put on mine. Yeah. I like The Freshman.
I think it's underrated. It's
you like it because it has Marlon Brando in it.
Marlon Brando. It's a riff on The Godfather.
Right.
Plays a Godfather-like character. But I enjoy Matthew Broderick quite a bit in that. And I think he plays that. It works so well because he's thrust into a very ethnic world, the world of Italian Americans, of which I'm a part, and he is about as not ethnic of a person as you can get. Just whiter.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's
a fish out of water story.
Fish out of water.
Yeah.
It's delightful. The Freshman. I think I like Election. I do.
Yeah,
enjoy
Anna
Election.
likes Election. I wrote 3 movies on my favorite Matthew Broderick films list. Election is one of them. The Freshman is one. Lucy likes him on stage. I do too. I've seen him in on Broadway in The Producers and in The Odd Couple, both co-starring Nathan Lane, and that was great. And we were gonna go see him and Sarah Jessica Parker this year do Plaza Hotel, but then that show got canceled. So maybe they'll show it. Maybe they'll do it again.
Who can forget 1998's Godzilla?
Godzilla.
Where he played Papadopoulos. So I can't remember the first name. That was his last name.
Let's see. We got
Papadopoulos.
War Games, Lady Hawk, Election, 30 Rock. Everyone loves Election. Good.
Oh yeah. he's
Oh,
great in
also
30
want to
Rock.
put in a vote for Biloxi Blues. He starred on that on Broadway and then also made the film, Neil Simon film. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? Oh, okay, now we're gonna move
Nick
into
Papadopoulos.
Thanks.
Godzilla.
Thanks.
Didn't he?
Yes.
Wasn't he in the
See,
movie?
Elizabeth, I agree. He the rest of his career he's been playing kind of like schmuck characters or very anxious characters or characters that are more like Cameron than, what did I say? I said Plaza Suite, didn't I? She's correcting me. My mom's correcting me. Oh, thanks. And then Ferris is just so cool. Like, he's just so unlike all the other characters he ever played. Okay, we're going to move into our next segment, which is called Johnny Five Alive.
Johnny Five Alive. If we had a theme.
It has nothing to do
That's what it
with
would be.
Short Circuit, but I just liked.
If we had a audio.
No, I feel like you should
production
write a theme
design.
song for us for this segment.
I just did.
Oh, good.
Johnny Five Alive.
Good.
There we go.
So what we're going to do is we've each compiled our top 5 list of teen comedies of all time, and we're going to share them now. And we're going to see if we have. Do you think we're going to? If you had to guess, would you say that we're going to have overlap on our lists?
Maybe some.
Maybe.
But mine are my top 5 are in no particular order.
Oh, well, that's
And
not how you do it. You
Maybe
rank them.
not really my top 5. It was just I did my best. It's so hard to pick between films because they're all special. They've all got what
Okay.
makes them good.
Well,
I mean, my number 1, I feel pretty confident.
I'll start. I did an honorable mention.
Okay, I think I have one
So-
of those.
Okay, well, I'll start. My honorable mention is Peggy Sue Got Married,
Oh,
starring Kathleen Turner and Nick Cage, directed by your friend Francis Ford Coppola.
oh,
Yeah. And it's a time travel movie. Love a time travel movie. Oh, Lucy, this is my parents' backyard. We steal my parents' house to do this in, but thank you. I will tell them. Dad, Lucy likes your backyard.
The backyard's a big hit. You just feel like Ferris is going to come hurtling over that fence.
Oh, well, there they are.
Yeah.
My dad's grilling, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my honorable mention, I'm not going to say much about it because it didn't make the top 5, but Peggy Sue Got Married. Stars Kathleen Turner, probably at around age 40, 45, as a high school student. So that's fun. Have you seen it?
But she's not a high school student.
She goes back in time. It's a lot
She goes
of
back in time to relive her high school days.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it Quantum Leap style where she looks into a mirror and it's her high
I
school
think no
self?
one notices that she's old. So
Right.
yes,
Right.
that we're not old, but not high school age.
Right.
Okay. So tell me, do you want to give an honorable mention, or do you want to just jump in with your number 5?
I think I would give my honorable mention to. I don't have it all.
Okay. So why don't you give us your number 5 and tell us a little bit about why it's on your list?
My number 5, which might be higher on the list, I don't know. These are just the ones that came to mind, but I'm gonna go with Bill and Ted.
Okay.
Excellent Adventure.
Why? Why is it on the list?
I just enjoy those fellas and the dynamic of that film. I also enjoyed the sequel, but I wanted to spread the love around,
Sure.
so I didn't put them both
We're
on the list.
getting some votes. We have
I'm going
Animal
with
House
Bill and
and
Ted's
Weird
Excellent
Science.
Adventure.
Good. Those are good votes. All right. My number 5 is a film that you can watch on Disney Plus, so I recommend it. Starring Elizabeth Shue, a young Anthony Rapp, Vincent D'Onofrio makes an appearance, Penelope Ann Miller.
That's Thor.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he was.
And
Thor.
then one of my cinematic boyfriends, I have several, Bradley Whitford, and it's a film called Adventures in Babysitting.
Yep.
I love it. Love it. I also watched this before I started babysitting. I wasn't old enough to babysit yet, and I thought this is what babysitting was going to be like. Directed by Chris Columbus. It's another incredible Chicago movie. I love my movies set in Chicago. And it's also a quest movie where these crazy kids get caught up in a lot of misadventures, kind of like Date Night. So love me some Adventures in Babysitting. I love it when she lip syncs, and then he kissed me at the beginning. So good. Okay, other good ones coming in. Can't Hardly Wait. Some Kind of Wonderful. All good picks. What's your number 4?
My number 4, Teen Wolf.
I knew you were going to pick Teen Wolf. I didn't pick it because I knew you were.
Teen Wolf was the first film that I was not old enough to watch, but watched anyway at a friend's house.
Did you feel guilty about it?
I'm Catholic. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Teen Wolf. Michael J. Fox. He's a wolf, but he also plays basketball.
He's going
What's
through
not to love.
And he's also going through some things.
Changes. His body is changing in new and exciting ways.
Different ways than typical, because he turns into a wolf.
That's true. That's how they positioned it in the film. But yeah, I do enjoy.
Have you watched the TV show?
The MTV TV show?
Wasn't there a TV show?
I was thinking, because I'm old, of the 1980s animated series.
No.
Called Teen Wolf.
No, I mean like
coming
the more recent
today.
one.
That's
not a comedy, right? The TV show's not a comedy. It's done.
Right. It's horror.
And then there was a sequel starring Jason Bateman. Yeah.
Yes, that he believes ruined his movie career for a while.
Teen Wolf is good. You're still giving in lots of good picks. So, keep them coming.
Teen Wolf is basketball oriented.
Yeah.
Do you know the sport that Teen Wolf 2 is oriented around?
I thought it was also basketball.
It was not also
But I have seen it.
Right.
I don't remember.
So Teen Wolf 2 is boxing. Believe it or not. It's a boxing werewolf.
I have no recollection of that.
It's terrific. Check it out.
Corey won Angie's Can't Hardly Wait on VHS at a college Christmas party. I loved that movie. It almost made my list. It really, really did. I had a really hard time culling this list down. All right, my number 4 is a film from 2015 called Dope. It's an independent film. It was a Sundance hit. It is directed by a guy, and don't look because I'm going to see if you recognize his name. Rick Famuyiwa. You heard of that name before?
Yes, I have.
Tell me why.
He
directed some things that you like. He directed some episodes of Mandalorian.
Yes.
And he's off. His name often comes up for Marvel.
Dope.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That's the movie Dope.
Yeah.
That he directed.
Yeah. He also directed other films.
Did he direct one of the?
He was in talks to be the
Flash.
Yes, and also Black Panther 2. Like
Yes.
his name's circulating around all of those.
Right.
Okay, anyway, it stars Shamik Moore, who plays Miles Morales in
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse. Tony Revolori, who's Zero from the Grand Budapest Hotel. He's also Flash from the MCU Spider-Man movies. You know, the jerky
Flash
guy.
Johnson.
The guy that's a jerk. And then Kiersey Clemons, who I loved in this movie called Hearts Beat Loud, and a lot of upcoming cool projects. So anyway, Dope is about this kid that's grown up in Inglewood, inner city Los Angeles. He is a straight A student. He's kind of a genius. He plays in a punk band. He's a self-described geek, and he and his friends decide to go to a party one day. They want to be cool. They want to see how the cool kids live. And when they go to this party, they end up kind of getting into it with a drug dealer, and they find themselves with this stash of drugs on their hands that they have to sell for this dope dealer.
Who's the star of Dope?
Shamik Moore. I just said it.
Oh,
He was Miles Morales.
that's what you meant by that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it is hilarious and very, very sweet. And it's available to see at home, so you should see it. It's really, really good. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is a little film called Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, well, I didn't put that on mine because I thought like it was a given that we liked that, or I wouldn't have recommended it for this show.
That was my number 3.
Okay, well, why do you love it?
It's just a delightful romp. I mean, it's so much fun to watch. It's got a very likable main character. They go on they have a day of misadventures.
I want to be friends with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with Ferris.
Anna loves Dope. Good. I'm glad there's someone else out there. Ken loves it too. It's got a great soundtrack. Good. I'm glad there's some Dope fans out there like me. My number 3 is Booksmart that we showed at the Robinson Film Center. Do you remember? You saw it with me. So this is Olivia Wilde's directorial debut. It's a big laugh out loud movie. Like there's some movies where I just like cackle and Thomas is embarrassed to be seen with me. But this is one. I laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. It stars Beanie Feldstein, a delightful romp, who is Jonah Hill's sister. It's in a subgenre of comedies that I like to call average or geeky teens go to a party. So there's some other films in that category, and some of you have mentioned them already, but Superbad, Can't Hardly Wait, House Party, Dazed and Confused. These are all party films where the plot is driven by we've got to get to this party. But I chose Booksmart to represent that category because I love it. Love Booksmart.
Okay. It was fine. That was good.
Tiana loved it. Anna loved it.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, you're number 2.
I feel like I got mine out of order.
Well,
I had
it's your own fault.
At number 2.
Okay, well, give us another one for number 2.
I'm gonna say Breakfast Club, but I don't really feel number 2-y about it. I got
Guess
it out
what?
of order. What? Is that
My number 2 is Breakfast Club.
Oh.
Yeah, so we can talk about it together.
Oh my.
So many comments. I can't keep up with them all, but y'all keep them coming. Everyone loved Booksmart. I'm so glad. If you haven't seen it yet, see it. Watch it. Thunderbirds. It's not at all what you said. Thoroughbreds. It's a good one. 10 Things I Hate About You. Great one. Y'all have great picks. So tell me why you love Breakfast Club. Why is it your number 2?
I just think I like a movie with dialogue.
Yeah, and that's all this is.
Right.
I mean, they're confined in this one room all day. I mean, they run around the school like once, but yeah, they're confined in this room, and they're getting to know each other. The social barriers are coming down.
Right.
There's not another movie that I could think of that was really like this. So I feel like it's original, it's well done, it's funny, good soundtrack.
Forget about me.
Yeah, everyone loves Breakfast Club. Woohoo! All right, it's time for your number 1.
My number 1. Wait, did you say your number 1? Or are you just letting me go first?
You go first.
Because you want to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I see how it is. My number 1 is Back to the Future, which I maintain is a teen comedy.
That's fine.
The main character is a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
He goes back in time and hangs out with his parents as teenagers.
Kind of like Peggy Sue Got Married.
Yeah. He's got trouble at school with his principal.
Yeah.
I mean, it
is a great movie. So I gave myself some rules. I set some parameters when I was making my list. And my 2 rules were the main characters had to be in high school, and it had to be primarily a comedy. And when I got down to Back to the Future, which it was on my longer list, but to me, Back to the Future was more adventure and comedy second. I'm splitting hairs, but I had to come up with a reason to narrow my list down. But I do love it. I do love it.
I do have I do have an honorable mention. I think that
the honorable mention comes first. But go ahead.
Okay. I do have an honorable mention. If I were to give an honorable mention, it would be to Superbad.
Yeah.
And another notable teen-centric film that I am embarrassed to say I have never watched as a George Lucas fan and Star Wars fan is American Graffiti. I own it. I've had every intention of watching it over the years. I think we almost did once.
Yeah.
We should get around to that.
We should.
American Graffiti starring a young Ron Howard, Harrison Ford.
I know.
I think Richard Dreyfuss. It's star-studded.
Yeah, I know.
It's George Lucas's one of his earliest directorial efforts. I think maybe his second after THX 1138.
You're such a Lucas nerd.
Yeah, but I've never watched American Graffiti.
I know, but we'll watch it.
I have watched THX 1138.
We'll watch American Graffiti.
We should.
Anna mentioned Juno. Juno was almost on my list. Guys, I'm telling you how hard it was to narrow this down to 5. But I have my number 1, and here it is. My number 1 teen comedy of all time is Heathers. Have you ever seen it?
It seems
you would not like it. You would hate it. It is extremely bleak.
Isn't there a scene where they play golf with people's heads?
Well, it's more like a dream sequence. Croquet. They love croquet.
Right.
That's
all I know about it.
It's a film where starring Winona Ryder, Christian Slater, Shannon Doherty. I always say that wrong, guys. I'm sorry. And the director went on to direct films, TV shows like Dexter, True Blood, American Horror Story. So you can see where we're going with that. There's this group of friends. They're all named Heathers, except for one, Veronica, and that's played by Winona Ryder. And they fight back against the mean girls of the school by
poisoning them,
murdering them, and making it look like suicides. It is a dark comedy. You would not like it because I think it's too dark for you. In fact, we've never shown it at the Robinson because I've always been concerned that there's some things that we shouldn't really collectively be laughing about in 2020, like suicide and school bombings. But it's a satire, and if you can get that, then it's hilarious. It is hilarious. I put this in another subgenre where about movies about popular cliques in high school, and some other standouts from this genre are Mean Girls and Clueless. Goonies again. See, it wouldn't have. Goonies is one of my favorite movies of all time, but it didn't make my list because to me it's primarily an adventure film over a comedy.
Right.
Yeah. So some people liked Heathers, some people didn't.
The only reason
we got Valley Girl. We're quoting Heathers. What's your damage, Heather? Yeah, I love Mean Girls. Gag Me with a Spoon. All great. Love. If you haven't seen Heathers, give it a try. Except you, because you won't like it.
I don't know. I liked Bernie. It was dark.
Yeah.
I mean, there were moments I didn't care for it, but in any event, I think that wraps up this segment called Johnny Five Alive. I really enjoyed that.
Thanks, I'm glad.
That's a spot-on impression of Johnny Five from Short Circuit. And Short Circuit too.
It's so good. You did so good. All right, our next segment is called Fight Club. Would you care to...
Yes.
Go ahead.
What's the segment called?
Fight Club.
Fight Club!
Oh my, it scared me.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain Fight Club, the segment, to our viewers?
Fight Club is a new segment on Meghan's movie club.
Yeah. I'm
struggling with the name because I'm featured so prominently in the content, but not the name.
You're my sidekick.
So,
come on, get with it.
It's where we pit two fictional characters against one another. They find themselves at odds.
Right.
Not necessarily fisticuffs, but it could come to that.
Right. So our two do I have both? Oh, look, they're back to okay. So we're gonna see who would
this corner.
In this corner is Ferris Bueller. You know him. You love him. There he is.
From Chicago, Illinois. Ferris Bueller.
All right, and then he's fighting.
From where? Where is he from? That was
he's from Nebraska. He's from Omaha.
Omaha. From Omaha, Nebraska.
We have Mr. McAllister. From Election.
From Election.
Now, they are both played by Matthew Broderick, as you'll notice.
Does everyone understand the rules?
So.
Yes, we don't talk about this segment. You can watch it, but don't talk about it later.
So here are some things that I think would benefit Ferris in this fight.
What does he have going for him?
He's cool.
He's cool.
He's resourceful.
Keeps his head on a swivel.
He's charming.
Yep.
Charm can get you a long way.
Don't I know it?
Yeah.
Unflappable.
Right. He's fast. He's a very fast runner.
Yeah.
But here are some.
He seems to be very fit.
He's yeah, he's fast.
Yeah.
He's very persuasive.
He's young.
He can talk you into anything.
He's a teenager.
He's very decisive.
Yeah.
Also known as bossy.
Yeah.
So he can make a decision quick. Right. But on the con list, one of his downfalls is that he's impulsive.
Right. And
he doesn't always make the best decision.
And he's got a very fast car at his disposal. We have to think about like what.
Yeah.
He's
got some friends. He's got Cameron and Sloan.
Technology prowess. Yeah. He can use that to his advantage.
Here's what Mr. McAllister has going for him.
Not much.
He's an adult.
He's an
but
adult man.
Some resources come with being an adult.
Right.
You know, he's 21. He could buy alcohol if he wanted to.
He's older than that.
Well, yeah, but he's over 21. Right. Let's see. He's cunning.
Is he cunning?
He's cunning. He's
conniving.
He's the Rooney to... in this film, he is to Rooney as Reese Witherspoon is to Ferris.
He's conniving.
He's conniving. Right. Yeah. He's a good guy, but he's got a dark side. He's unfaithful.
Guy.
I mean, I think it is hard.
He was the best one of that bunch in election.
He's unfaithful, so that doesn't say a lot about his scruples.
No.
And he's also very not cool.
No.
So if like
he's frumpy. If he frumpy is you describe men as what disheveled.
Yeah. So based on those qualities, who's winning in a fight?
Like a
Ferris.
Like a fist fight, or if they just found themselves at
odds?
If
they found themselves at odds, which if they were each other's nemesis, who would come out on top?
Let's
Ferris or McAllister.
Let's say Mr. McAllister was a teacher at Ferris's high school.
Sure.
And Mr. McAllister was tasked with Mr. Rooney subbed it out. He said, "You've got to get this Ferris guy under control."
I'm going Ferris.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ferris could handle Mr. McAllister.
Anna thinks McAllister would win because he's ruthless, and that is true. That is true. He is persistent. He's like a dog with a bone. If he wants to destroy someone, he's going to try to destroy them. But I think Ferris would come out on top. Just like he outsmarted Rooney, I think he would outsmart McAllister. And also, he's fast.
I feel like he would. The thing that Mr. McAllister has going for him is that he looks exactly like Ferris. So if need be, he could impersonate
He could pretend
Ferris
to be the teacher.
To ruin his life. Also...
But the other way around, too.
Also, how I think that coming face to face with a doppelganger would take any of us off our game. We would find that a bit disconcerting.
But I think Ferris would...
What's happening
I think Ferris would rebound that faster than McAllister would.
Like, I get what's happening. I'm in Fight Club.
Plus, Mr. McAllister is driven by his desire for his neighbor too.
Anger.
Like he's distracted on so many ways.
Right.
So
he's been beaten down by life. Whereas Ferris is still.
He's young, vibrant. His whole life's ahead of him, and everything works out for him.
Right.
That's another reason. Ferris
But what if
would win.
they were to find themselves physically at odds?
Again, Ferris.
You think Ferris?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think in a physical fight, I might have to get it to Mr. McAllister because he's got that dark side. It wouldn't surprise me if he fought dirty. There would be a candlestick. But here's the thing.
You're right. I don't see Ferris being much of a fighter. You're right about that.
They'd be wrestling, and in that moment of rage, he would.
But here's what I think: Ferris would run.
Garden hose.
Ferris is so fast.
Right.
He can run and jump over fences.
He would run over the fence, and McAllister couldn't do that. He'd be out of breath.
No.
He had a very poor diet.
But he did run around the track at the beginning. He was a track runner.
Well, you know what that means is there was a time at which he was as fit as Ferris, which makes sense.
Right.
Like
because he's the same guy.
Right, because he's the same guy, and he was trying his best to keep up his regimen. But didn't he ate poorly in that movie? Like he was always eating junk food.
His life just spirals.
Right.
And see, in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, we see him. Everything's working out for him. It's the best day of his life. And in Election, McAllister's spiraling.
Right.
Yeah, down the toilet.
It's not even fair. But I think if it was a game of strategy, I'm gonna go with Ferris. But if it came down to a physical altercation, you never fight someone that's got nothing to lose.
You're right.
And in that moment,
McAllister's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I'd be afraid of what he would do.
He survived a very painful bee sting.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
that he did.
Okay, we're gonna move into a quick round
Was that the end of Fight Club?
Yeah.
Fight Club. That's how we begin.
I really
and end
hate
all the segments.
this hat. I mean, I love the Cubs. I hate that I'm wearing a hat.
You look great. That's the problem.
I just don't like it.
Nah.
I don't like it. Okay, next segment.
Who wore the Cubs hat better? People at home. We'll wait.
Yeah. And while we wait, we're going to move on.
Okay.
Our next and penultimate segment, second to last is what that means, is Trivia Timeout. This is going to be a quick round.
If I had a whistle, I'd blow it for timeout.
Trivia Timeout?
Yeah.
Timeout for trivia. We're going to do some John Hughes trivia.
Yay.
You want to lead it?
Sure.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to not say the answer, but you're going to give these little hints. Ready?
All right.
So these are all John Hughes films. Okay.
Okay. So these are the films from the catalog.
These are either written and or directed by John Hughes.
Okay. This film was released in 1983. It was written by John Hughes and directed by the late great Harold Ramis.
Everyone's saying that I look better than that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Chevy Chase is in it. Are you looking for your winner?
Yeah. Sorry.
Beverly D'Angelo is in it. Randy Quaid is in it. Anthony Michael Hall is in it. And Christy Brinkley is in it.
Good cast.
Yeah. It stars a family known as the Griswolds. Come on, people.
There's a lag. There's a delay. Keep reading.
Oh. They drive cross country to Wally World.
Brian Smith's got it. Vacation. It's National Lampoon's Vacation. Very good. Very good. All right, number 2.
Moving on to number 2. This film was released in 1984. It was written and directed by Mr. John Hughes.
He loves Chicago, by the way.
It starred Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall, and Justin Henry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A girl's milestone birthday becomes anything but special as she suffers from every embarrassment possible.
Molly Ringwald's birthday.
16
candles. Robert Manriquez for the win.
Are you writing down your winners?
I do not have a pen.
Are you just going to consult the video later?
Well, I think Angie sometimes writes them down for me. And so does my friend
Angie.
So does my friend Ken.
Oh, good for
Unbidden.
you, Ken.
He just records them and sends them to me.
It's good
He's
to
so
have
nice.
an entourage.
From Austin, all the way from Austin.
All
16 Candles was the correct answer for that one.
All right.
There are many John Hughes films starring Molly Ringwald, so there's lots. But this one was 16 Candles.
Okay, number 3. 1985, written and directed by John Hughes. Anthony Michael Hall again. He really enjoys Anthony Michael Hall. Elon Mitchell-Smith.
I think.
Elon Mitchell-Smith. Kelly LeBrock. Bill Paxton. 2 high school nerds use a computer program to... 16 Candles was the answer to the last one.
You got to start over now. You messed everything up.
2 high school nerds use a computer program literally to create the perfect woman.
I said start over.
1985. John Hughes. Weird Science is the answer.
Yes. Anna, you are correct. It's Weird Science.
Yes.
Why are you terrible at this?
I'm not. I'm great at it.
I'm doing number 4 because you messed it up.
Fine.
Okay. Remember that time you said the answer instead of the... Okay, are you...
But I didn't do that just now.
Spit coronavirus on me just now. Okay, number 4, 1989, written and directed by John Hughes, starring John Candy, Macaulay Culkin, Gabby Hoffman, and Laurie Metcalf. This is a great film. A bachelor, an all-around slob, babysits his brother's rebellious teenage daughter and her cute younger brother and sister. Christy got it! It's Uncle Buck. Christy Rawl with the win. Uncle Buck, love it. No, Please. You've lost your privileges.
Please.
No.
Give me another chance. You will not regret it.
You can do the next segment, which is our last segment.
But just let me wrap up the trivia to which I was assigned. It would mean so much to me.
You failed.
It would mean so much to me if you would give me another.
I'm going to give you the next job.
Just give me another shot. Oh, there's more. There's another segment?
The closing segment.
Oh, okay. I'll take it.
Okay. Number 5. Last question. 1990. If Gabe Hostetler is listening, I told him he was going to know one of the trivia questions, and this is the one. 1990. Written by John Hughes, directed by Chris Columbus, starring again Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, John Hurd, and Catherine O'Hara. An 8-year-old troublemaker must protect his house from a pair of burglars when he is accidentally left at home by his family during Christmas vacation. Anna with the win. Good job, Anna. Home Alone, which, guys, came on Tuesday, which was my birthday, and my family and I all just stopped what we were doing and watched it. In the middle of May, we watched a Christmas movie, Home Alone. All right. Our final... Oh, do you need to do anything about that, closing this segment? Trivia timeout?
What was it called?
Trivia timeout.
I don't have a list.
Okay. Our final segment.
Next time. Note to self. bring whistle to
Okay.
Facebook Live.
You can do this one. Our final segment is...
Oh, you want me to do something now?
Yeah, but I wish you would stop interrupting me while I'm talking.
Okay, continue.
The final segment is called Clue. And it is also the announcement of next week's movie. So we're going to give you clues, and you are going to guess what the movie is. So, you can start.
All right.
Clue 1.
Clue 1. The movie features animals.
All right. What could it be? Give me some guesses. What are some comedies that feature animals? Let's hear what you got. Thomas joined. Christina's worried that you... Steen, that's not nice. Okay. Ken
being
guesses...
held here against my will.
Ken guesses Shrek. Robert guesses Babe. None of those are correct, but they're good guesses. Dr. Doolittle, good guess. Go ahead and give them clue number 2.
It's considered to be one of the best films in its genre.
That's true. It's true. Y'all are giving good guesses.
Genre. It's a fun word.
Are you a blood sugar?
I used to say genre, but it's not. It's
Okay, why don't you go ahead and give
genre.
them clue number 3.
This movie was released in 2000.
Okay, 2000. What could it be?
Thank you for calling Movie Phone.
You're all doing great guesses, but no one has gotten it correct yet.
Clue number 4. This movie is set in Philadelphia at an annual event. Remember annual events? This was
We
one
used
of
to
them.
have them. So this film centers around an annual event that happens in Philadelphia.
Animals.
Animals.
Best films in its genre. 2000. Philadelphia.
Okay, we're getting close. Someone's going to get it soon because we're getting into the easy clues now.
Stars Fred Willard. The late Fred Willard.
Robert got it.
Robert Manriquez is our winner.
Robert, you got it, man. It is Best in Show. Why don't you give them the rest of the clues? Just quickly.
Catherine
Yeah.
O'Hara, Eugene Levy, Parker Posey, Bob Balaban, Michael McKean, Jennifer Coolidge, Don Lake, and Jane Lynch. Clue 6 is it's in a comedy subgenre known as a mockumentary.
Mockumentary.
And it's directed by mockumentary master Christopher Guest.
Yes, so good. You all
Best
got it.
in
Robert was first. You don't get a prize for that, unfortunately, Robert.
Best
But
in
the movie is called Best in Show. We lost Fred Willard this past week. A comedy great. And so in his memory, we're going to watch Best in Show. So I hope you enjoy watching it. Have you seen Best in Show before?
No.
Oh, good. You're going to... Yay! It'll be fun. We'll get to see what you think about it. So enjoy watching Best in Show. It's a movie that you're gonna have to rent unless you happen to already own it. You can rent it on iTunes or Amazon Prime Video for $3.99. And enjoy. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we'll meet back here, same time, same place, and talk about Best in Show. Let us know in the comments. I feel like I'm a YouTuber all of a sudden. What you thought about our new segments, which ones you liked.
Leave us a like. That's how they talk.
Is that it? Yeah.
Slide into my DMs.
Rate, review, and
Now
subscribe.
that they say
I think
on
they
the-
say rate,
on-
review, and subscribe.
Leave a like. Give us a thumbs up.
Anyway, for real though, I want to know what you liked about our new segments. If
Do you think Thomas should be invited back next week?
Of course
apparently
you
I feel like I've displeased you with my performance today. So I'm a
well,
little
you did
concerned
mess
about my
up
job
the
security
trivia, but
in this time, and it's particularly concerning in this time of
the good news
coronavirus.
is Stina is looking out for you.
Stina's out there wondering what she can do to help, and I
Yeah.
like that. It made me.
But she's my friend first, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
And if you have any comments about my dad's vegetable garden and the Home Depot buckets, go ahead and comment on that too. And have a great week, and we'll see you back next Thursday. Bye. You gotta stop it.
Oh, you want me to stop it?
Well, go.
Let's do a post credits. Go home. The live feed's over. What? That was funny.